Hi, Kotsa.
Hi.
Hi, Sudhin. I'm not able to hear you. Yeah. Not able to hear you. There's an option on the top, Sudhin, saying mic. So you can click on that and then see if the correct microphone has been selected.
Is it okay now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, Maria.
Hi, Vikram. How are you?
Very good. How are you?
Good. Good to see you again.
Yes. Let's just give it a few minutes for others to join. But thank you for joining on time. Hello, Yash. Hmm. Okay, while we wait for a few others to join, I'd like to hear from y'all if y'all tried the journaling prompts. Maybe we can start with Akotsa, and then we can go around the room.
Just a minute. Okay, so I actually I was not able to do the journaling prompts, but I did take some time to reflect on it. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Would Sudhin and then Maria like to share? What was your experience with this?
Yeah, I wrote down the answers, but I don't know if I done it in the correct manner.
Okay.
So, uh, can I tell in the order? Like
No, it was just your experience. We don't need to go into the journaling per se, but just your experience in how you found the whole process.
Yeah, I seen the fluctuation of energy and the emotions connected with it when I wrote down on the way the energy fluctuated in the responses and the way I received the feedbacks from others or communication manner. That's the aspect I noticed. So I seen a pattern actually, but I don't know the same thing will repeat in the
No,
next
that
week.
we'll do it now.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Yeah.
about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Maria?
I obviously like the experience. I think I definitely should do more. So when someone makes me do something like this, it's great because I don't otherwise journal. I actually had a couple of really good days. So I also wanted to ask, maybe we can discuss this later, but does that also depend on how we see things, like more positive, more negative? Because again, it was just a couple of really positive days and I just couldn't find a lot of negative things. Yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I see Tripsoxna and
It's
Deepa.
Martin, yeah.
Oh, Martin. Hi, Martin. And I also see Varsha. So thank you for joining. This is a webinar on making your days better, right? And I want to share a technique from Vedic astrology that you can use to do this. And I had actually shared a few journaling prompts a few days ago. I'd asked whoever wanted to join the webinar to take a little time every day to reflect on certain journaling prompts. And we were just sharing where each of us are with that. Would Martin, Yash, or Varsha like to share anything about those journaling prompts? Did you get a chance to try them out? Martin?
No, I missed these messages, to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just jumping in today and
sure.
Yeah.
Sure, no problem. You'll actually see how I use journaling to achieve this task of making my days better. I'll explain a little more. What about Varsha?
Yeah, hi. Even I missed like the last class. I couldn't attend, so I'm not aware of the journaling prompts.
Okay, sure. Okay, let's get started. Yeah, I'll share my screen and just let me know if you can see it. Yeah. You should be able to see my screen now. Yeah. So I think this will take us a little about an hour or so. Yeah. The first part of the webinar, I'll be sharing this technique to make our days better using Vedic astrology without knowing Vedic astrology. That's the key thing over here. Yeah. And in the second part, I'll show you how you can deepen it. Yeah. Roughly, it'll be like an hour. Now, before I actually start my topic, I want to share with you an extremely important man, right, who we all know, right? Einstein. Yeah? And all of us have heard of him, and all of us know that famous equation, E equals mc squared, right? It's unlikely any of us have not heard of Einstein or his work. Now, did you know that it took Einstein maybe around 10 years of intense work in order to arrive at this equation? You know, Einstein was a genius, and it took him 10 years, 10 years after studying mathematics and science at college, when he actually started working on special theory of relativity, till he came up with this equation, around 10 years. And this equation has not been disproved. This was almost like 100 years ago. And nobody has been able to disprove this equation. And it has been used in many, many applications, right? Now, if we were to try to understand this equation, how did Einstein come up with this? How did Einstein derive this equation? It will take us around 20 years. Yeah, we need to study science in college. We need to do masters in science. We need to do a PhD. We will need to do a postdoctoral research. And still, we may not be able to understand this equation. But we use this equation in daily life. All of us are using this equation every day. For instance, without this equation, E equals mc squared, electricity could not have been generated the way it is generated today. This is a fundamental equation which tells us that mass can be converted to energy. And it is used in so many applications. Electricity generation is just one of them. Why am I sharing all this? Not knowing science, not knowing how Einstein derived this equation, I am still benefiting from this equation in day-to-day life, right? And ordinary people like you and me, we will not even try to question Einstein on this equation, right? Are you with me so far? Okay, now, instead of Einstein, let's change this person a little bit. Let's take a Maharishi, right? Who spent decades and decades doing intense work, trying to understand how this universe works. Decades of work. And they have formulated equations which I can use in day-to-day life without having to question or try to reformulate those equations. You see where I'm going with this? These Maharishis, the sages of ancient Indian civilization, they have given us the scriptures, very cryptic formulations of what they derived, of the insights they had after doing decades of work. I can use that today. Right now, I have spent a full webinar on this topic, so I invite you to check out my YouTube channel if you're interested in this topic. We've covered this a few weeks ago, right? It's already uploaded on YouTube. But one of the things that I'd like to point out over here is where I've circled over here called Jyotisha, which is astrology, right? Given to us by the ancient rishis, the ancient sages, after decades of work. Today, we are using those equations, and very rarely are we able to derive those equations. Just like E equals mc squared. I use that in day-to-day work, but I'm not able to derive it because I don't have the capacity to derive Einstein's equation. I could, but I will spend decades in trying to do that. So what I'm going to share with you next are applications of these equations given by the Maharishis, by the sages. And I invite you to use this in your day-to-day life to make your days better. But if you ask me why is this equation this way? You know, it's a different conversation, right? So let's come into this webinar now. Yeah. The topic is, how can I make my days better? Right. And well, this is the first time I'm sharing this information. I have not taught this to anyone. I have not taught this to any of my students. I have not blogged on it. I have studied it, and I have seen this in practice over many, many months. I think it's almost 2 years now that I'm closely watching this technique. And this is the first time I'm sharing this. Yeah. Without knowing astrology, you can make your days better by using the Hindu Vedic calendar. Any Hindu calendar. Okay. In India, we get the printed version of this calendar, but now you can even download apps. Okay. Now, this webinar is being recorded. I'll post it on YouTube. You will get the link. So just follow me along, and you can take screenshots and make notes a little later, because this will require your full attention. Yeah. Any Hindu calendar. You can also use any Vedic astrology software. There are paid versions of the software. There are free versions of the software. Yeah. Or you can use any app, but a Vedic astrology app, right? Such as the one I use is called Dainika Panchang. It's available on Google Play Store. It's available on Apple Store. It's available on the web. Yeah. What does it look like? This is what the screen looks like. Okay, of Dainik Panchang. Now, you'll notice that on the top, you have the date where it says 27th October 2019. You have 12-hour, 24-hour format. Forget 24-hour plus, leave it. Sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset. And then starts what we call as the Panchang, which is Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana, and Var. Okay, there are 5 components, right? Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana, and Var. And this is what I will explain next, what each of these mean and how you can use that to make your days better. Yeah. Now, I think there are 3 options to do this, to make your days better, right? Option 1 is to learn astrology, to understand each of these. What is Tithi? What is Nakshatra? What is Yoga, right? And this, we usually cover it in the 3rd year because it's an advanced topic. This is the first option. Second option is to observe, reflect, and introspect. And anyone can do this, starting now. And that is what I'm going to show you. The third option is to do both. You observe, reflect, and introspect starting now, and you study astrology with me. So option 1 is like trying to derive E equals mc squared. Think of it that way, going into studying science to understand that equation, right? Option 2 is applying that equation, right? The equations that have been given, we start to apply them. Yeah. Any questions so far before we take these up one by one? No. Okay. In that case, let's start.
I have one question.
Yes, Ekot.
What is Panchanga?
Yeah, so Panchanga means 5 components, right? Pancha means 5 in Sanskrit. Anga means component, finger, or 5 limbs, or so to speak. And those are Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana, and Var. Those are the 5 things. And that is what I will take up now. Yeah. Okay. First, let's take up Tithi. You have the sky above. Yeah. And you have the earth below. On any given day, I've taken 10th September as an example. On any given day, you'll have the sun in a certain point in the sky. Okay. Let us say on that day, just for example, the moon was also in the same point. In the same angle, I saw the moon, which means this is a new moon day. It's a new moon, right? Where the sun and the moon are together. Yeah, you have full moon and new moon. When both are in the same angle, it's a new moon. But the moon keeps going around the earth a little faster. So on the 11th of September, the moon would have shifted a little bit, right? And now I can see a little bit of the moon because it's moved away from the sun, right? So that white portion there, I'm able to see. The dark portion, I'm not able to see. That's on the 11th. On the 12th, the moon has gone a little further. And I can see a little more of the moon. The moon is increasing in size over here. On the 13th, it's gone a little more. And now I can see even more of the moon. Okay. what's happening here is my angle of view is changing. When the angle is between 0 to 12, for every 12 degrees, we call it a tithi. This is the phase of the moon, 12 degrees. Okay, the next 12 degrees will be the next phase of the moon. Right? The next 12 is the next phase. Why 12? Why sun? Why moon? We take that up another time. Yeah, those are advanced questions. Tithi is every 12 degree of separation between the sun and the moon. Okay, now there are 30 tithis, 30. 15 of them will be when the moon is increasing in size. 15 of them will be when the moon is decreasing in size. Yeah. Now these have very specific names in Sanskrit. It's called Prathama. Prathama means the first. Dvitiya. Dvitiya means second. Tritiya means third. Chaturthi means fourth. Right? Panchama, Shashti, and so on. These are the names of the tithis. What is this used for where my topic is concerned? Right? The tithi, the moon, how far the moon is from the sun determines my emotional state, my internal landscape, what I feel inside during the day, during those 12 degrees. So if I can reflect on my emotions on every tithi, every phase of the moon, and after a few times, if I look back and say, oh, every time it was new moon, this is what I was feeling. And now new moon is coming up. Let me be alert if I feel the same way. So this is what tithi determines. Your attitude and approach. How do you feel internally? What is your emotional landscape? So these become the journaling prompts. Meaning, today, at the end of the day, before I go to bed, I answer these questions. And I make a note of today's tithi. Which phase of the moon is today? Tomorrow night, I do the same. I answer these questions and I make a note of the tithi. I keep doing that for many, many weeks. And I tell you, you'll start seeing a pattern. Between these questions and the phase of the moon. You may have already noticed full moon and new moon. It's the peak for these questions, for your emotional state. But here we are making it more granular. We are saying every 12 degrees, there's a change in your emotional landscape. Any questions?
Vikram, I have a question.
Yeah,
if that person is going through a lot of spiritual practice or meditation, still this impact is there?
Yes, it is there. So if a person is doing intense meditation, they will be even more attuned to the tithi, to the phase of the moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but he can balance it with the awareness.
Yeah, but that is, yes, absolutely. So first step in balancing is to become aware.
Okay.
So then I'm not reacting to something, I can respond to it. Right? So awareness of my internal landscape, awareness of my emotions, especially when you are in intense meditation, tithi is more important than some of the other angas. Yeah, this becomes the most important. That is why we say at new moon and full moon, they are prime times for meditation. Yeah?
Okay.
Okay, let's continue. Yeah.
Is that pattern is different for different person?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It is different for different people, right? Now, if you want to see for another person, you need to learn astrology. Yeah, so then by looking at that chart, you'll be able to tell what happens in each phase of the moon for that person. Yeah, but here, how I'm approaching this is self-discovery. Right? I'm becoming aware of my emotions. I'm trying to understand, uncover my emotions, self-discovery. And I'm equating that to the tithi. Yeah. Okay. But now this is emotions. Okay. But there's a lot more that happens during the day. Right? Let's look at the other angas. What do they map to? Tithi is 12 degrees. Right? Let's go back to 10th September. The sun and the moon on that day, as an example, were together. It was new moon. Yeah. 10th September itself, the moon would have shifted, right? Instead of 12 degrees, if I look at 6 degrees, even minute, yeah, it is known as Karana. So it is half of a tithi. Now there are 11 Karanas. Yeah, Bhava, Balava, Kaulava. What do these mean? Another topic, okay? Leave it. It does not matter. There are 11 Karanas. These Karanas, they map to what kind of actions was good on that day. Were you easily able to achieve certain kind of actions and struggled at other kinds of actions? That is determined by the Karana. What kind of activity came easily for you that in that Karana, in that day? You would have noticed sometimes work goes smoothly, but I'm struggling with family, or the other way around. Or sometimes I'm struggling on the road with traffic and meetings go extremely smoothly. What kind of work, what kind of activity was good on that day, was easy on that day, is determined by Karana. Yeah. So again, every day, if you journal these prompts, right? I'll summarize all these prompts later. Yeah. But if you journal this and then you keep watching, what is the Karana today, right? After a few weeks, you'll say, this is the Karana that is coming up. Yeah. And you can look back in your journal and say, every time this Karana happened, this is what I found. You'll start seeing a pattern. Yeah. So Karana is half of a tithi. It's the angular separation between the sun and the moon at 6 degrees. Yeah. Next. Let's go back to 10 September. So we finished two angas, Tithi and Karana. 10 September, the moon was there. We have removed the sun from the equation. Okay, forget the sun, just the moon. If I look at the moon and see which stars were behind the moon on that day, right? Those stars is known as the nakshatra. Right? Now, 11th of September, the moon has shifted, so my angle of view changes, and the stars behind the moon would be different now. Right? That is what we call as nakshatra, the stars behind the moon. So when we say Janma Nakshatra, Janma meaning birth, birth Nakshatra, what we mean is the stars behind the moon when you were born. Or you can have Dina Nakshatra, Dina meaning day, the Nakshatra of the day, means which stars were behind the moon on that day. Yeah, Ekotsa, coming to your question, give me 1 minute. Now there are 27 nakshatras. Yeah, these are Sanskrit names. You don't need to know the names, right? Ashwini, Bharani, Kritika. Every language in India will have their own names of this, right? 27 of them. What does nakshatra represent where my days are concerned? Yeah. The nakshatra is all about which area of life is increasing or not increasing, is growing or not growing. So the prompts that I have over here, what grew in quantity or quality, or what did not grow? Which areas of life? Did something beautiful happen in family? Did something beautiful happen at work? Did something grow at work, or something did not grow at work? It's all about becoming aware to these minute differences. Every day there's a change. The moon will never stay in the same nakshatra. Moon keeps going around. So something or the other is either increasing or not increasing. You have to pay attention to that. So again, just to repeat myself, if you sit with these questions every day in the night and reflect on your day and say, okay, fine, today, this is what grew in my life and this was the nakshatra, then after a few weeks, you'll start to find a pattern. Let me take questions. Ekotsa?
Yes. So my question is about Karna.
Yeah.
If let's say Tithi, the phases of the moon, goes every day, it's different, right?
No, it's not every day is different. It's every 12 degrees it's different. When the angle between the sun and the moon increases by batches of 12, it's a Tithi. For the first 12 degrees, it's Prathama, first phase of the moon. For the next 12, it is Dvitiya.
Okay. And
Karana
that can
is
be,
6. Yeah, come again?
yes. And that can be known by Hindu calendar.
All
Like
of this, you'll get it in the Hindu calendar.
Also what Karna it is.
Yes, okay, let me show that screen again. So you see over here, Tithi, it says Chaturdashi. Chaturdashi up till 12:23 p.m. And then it's Amavasya. These are names of Tithis. Yeah. Nakshatra, it says Chitra up to 3:18 a.m. And then it is Swati.
Okay.
And then Karana, it says Shakuni up to 12:23 p.m. And then Chatuspada up to 10:44. And then Nagava. So the Panchanga will give you the names of these Pancha Anga, of Tithi, Nakshatra, all of that.
Okay. And you're saying according to, like, we can, according to every Tithi or Nakshatra, Vara, we can like introspect in different aspects.
Correct. Yeah. What I'm saying is, each of these Tithi, Nakshatra, Yoga, all of them, they determine something different in my day. So Tithi determines my emotions. Karana determines the actions, the activities that come easily, that are successful or not successful. The nakshatra determines the area of life, right, that is growing or not growing. Yeah. So by reflecting on that, you can start to form a mapping. You can see the patterns. You can see the connections. So now, when I have this Panchanga app, if I click on 27th October, right on the top right-hand corner, and then I make it tomorrow, I make it 11th March 2024, the app will give me what is the Tithi for tomorrow, what is the Nakshatra for tomorrow, what is the Yoga, what is the Karana for tomorrow. So then by looking back at my journal, I can see what happened in such a Tithi before in the past. So I have advanced knowledge of what to expect in my own life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we were. This is the nakshatras. And this is what nakshatra determines. Let's look at the next. Right now, remember, Tithi was the difference between the sun and the moon. You know how far away the moon is from the sun was Tithi. Now let's look at yoga, which is slightly different. Okay. Yoga means union, meaning join, right? That is the fundamental meaning of yoga. To unite, right, is yoga. 13th September, the moon was there. Okay. That means I need to look in that angle to see the moon, the dotted line. Right. Now, there is something in astronomy called the starting point of the sky. The sky is a circle. Right? We have something called the starting point. In this example, let us say that is the starting point, right? The point in the top right-hand corner. The difference between these two is known as the moon's longitude. That means I have to look in that direction to find the starting point. I have to look in this direction to find the moon. How much should I shift my head is the moon's longitude. Okay. On 13th of September, sun was somewhere. Let us say sun was over there. That means I get the sun's longitude as well. Okay, from the starting point till the sun in the sky, I get the sun's longitude. You have the moon's longitude and the sun's longitude. Yoga combines the two. It adds up the two. It unites the two. Take the sun's longitude, add it to the moon's longitude, and you will get one point in the sky. That point gives you the yoga. The software does all this. You don't need to do it, right? The app will do it. This is just to help you understand what is yoga. Sun's longitude plus moon's longitude, the union of the two is yoga. Okay. There are 27 yogas. They have their own names: Vishkumbha, Preeti, Ayushman, Saubhagya. What each of these mean? A different topic. We don't need to know that, right? What we need to know is, what does yoga indicate in my day? Yoga is what is holding my day together. The underlying current throughout the day. For example, there are some days when I'm just annoyed. The whole day I'm annoyed. I don't know what, but whether I'm at work or whether in traffic or whether in family, I'm just annoyed. That's an underlying current. Yeah, something that is holding the day together. Sometimes I'm just happy throughout the day. It's holding the whole day together. So this is yoga. The more time you spend with these questions, the more you'll discover yourself and you'll discover what all these concepts mean, right? Any questions before we take up the last one? So we've done Tithi, Karana, Nakshatra, and Yoga. We have one more left, which is Vara. Vara means weekday. Okay, the day of the week. But look how beautifully this has been explained in the Hindu Vedic scriptures. What they say is, divide the day into 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours. So I've got 7 days over here, 7 columns, and I've got 24 cells. Okay, 24 hours. Next, they say, arrange the planets in order of their speed. You have Sun, Moon, Mercury, Mars, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, right? The planets that we can see. Each of them are going around the sun. The scriptures say arrange them in order, starting from the slowest to the fastest. The slowest moving planet is Saturn. The next is Jupiter. The next is Mars, goes faster than Jupiter around the sun. Arrange this in order. That's the order. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, right? This is the geocentric view. So we imagine the sun is going around the earth. Actually, it's the other way around. Venus, Mercury, and Moon. Moon going around the earth extremely fast. It's the fastest moving, right? Next, they say, repeat that, right? The same thing. Do it again. Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury. They say, do it again. Keep doing it. When you come to the bottom, you start again from the top. The same order of revolution around the sun. And you do that for all the days. The same thing. Okay. What you get, look at the first row over here. We have Saturn, then we have Sun, the first planet. And then we have Moon. Then we have Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. Look how beautiful. Do you know what these are? These are the days of the week. Saturday is Saturn. Ravivar is Sunday. Lunadi. Every language you take, it's named after the planet. Somvar, Soma, the moon, right? Tuesday is Mars. Wednesday is Mercury. Thursday is Jupiter. Friday is Venus. Why is day of the week important? This tells us the external environment that I'm facing, that I have to face. The Tithi was the internal environment, the emotions. The day of the week is the external environment. Right? So the journaling prompts here are, what was the external energy or vibe of the day for you? What was the overall mood in the external environment? Any questions? Okay, so then let's bring everything together. These are the journaling prompts. Yeah. Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yoga, Karana. These are the Pancha Angas. This is what we call as the Panchanga. Tithi is the internal landscape, your emotions. Vara is the external environment, weekday. Nakshatra is the area of life. Yoga is what was holding the day together, or was everything falling apart? Karana is what actions came easily, naturally, was more successful that day, and what was difficult. And all of this you can find in your app. So you can choose any day of the year, and it will tell you what is the Tithi that day, what is the Nakshatra. I want to hear from you all what you think of all of this. Do you think it's doable? Do you have any questions? Varsha.
Like in our house, we like follow this like nakshatra with like something called like Tara Bala. So we
Yeah.
see like the nine this thing according to the nakshatra of like
Correct.
the person. Yeah. So that
Correct.
also is included in this.
Yeah, so you can get Tarabala. Tarabala is an advanced concept. It depends on your Janma Nakshatra, meaning your birth star. And depending on your birth star, everybody's Tarabala, Tara meaning star, Bala meaning strength, right? So strength of the stars on that day will change, right? I would suggest that you start with this first.
Yeah.
And then you add Tarabala.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? I would like to hear your thoughts.
Vikram, how many weeks do we need to journal to see this?
Very, very good question. What I would suggest is that you will start seeing the pattern within a few weeks for Vara, for weekday, because there are only 7 weekdays, right? So you'll start seeing the pattern much faster. If you take Nakshatra and Yoga, there are 27 Nakshatras. So you need to stay with that journaling for a few months. Right? The same with Tithi. There are 30 Tithis, right? 15 in the waxing half, 15 in the waning half. So you will have to stay with it a little longer. But this is a very powerful way to get to know yourself. Not just astrology. I mean, you're doing astrology in a very direct, experiential way. right? If I were to explain how to understand the tithi using astrology, it will become very theoretical, right? But here you're experiencing those emotions, you're connecting it with your life. I'm just reading Maria's message. When we are noting down which tithi, which nakshatra was present on a certain day, which one do we choose? The one at the time when we journal, for example, there is a tithi up to 12:23 and the next one from then on. Exactly. Very good question, Maria. So all of these, they change during the day, right? So now you look at this screen over here with this screenshot. If you look at the tithi, it was Chaturdashi till around early afternoon, 12:23 p.m. And then it became Amavasya. Amavasya meaning new moon. Now you're journaling to tithi. So the question is, how was your attitude or approach? How did you feel internally? How did you feel internally? So then when you journal, reflect how you felt up till 12:23. And then how did you feel after 12:23, right? So till 12:23, it was Chaturdashi, map it to Chaturdashi. And after 12:23, map it to Amavasya. Yeah, okay.
So, Vikram, Ashwin here.
Yes, Ashwin.
This is the specific order that we have to follow.
Good question. Yeah. I would leave that up to you.
All right.
Yeah. So I even experimented with not doing all of the 5, just taking any one. Right? And just looking at that over a few weeks. But then I found that anyway, I'm sitting for journaling, right? I may as well do all 5, right? Just a few more minutes, no? So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. What is the difference between the first and second karana? Well, it's the 6-degree difference. It's a different karana. So over here, for instance, karana is mapped to what kind of activities comes naturally, easily, are more successful. So now if you look at this over here, till 12:23 p.m., it is Shakuni, right? First karana. Second karana is the next karana on that day. There are 2 karanas in a day. Yeah. So second karana over here was Chatushpada till 10:44 p.m. So the day is almost over. And then you have the next karana, which is Nagava. Yeah.
Vikram, can you share any journaling page you done? Then it will be easy to understand that pattern.
I don't have it here with me. Yeah. So, but I can tell you, no, I can tell you. So what I have found for myself.
One example, can you?
One example, right? Absolutely. So what I found is on new moon and especially on full moon, I don't sleep well. Right? Because my emotional state, I'm too active. My emotions are too active. Right? So now I'm very conscious when is it new moon and full moon. And I plan my activities differently. Because I know my sleep is going to be disturbed. But that I have arrived at by watching myself over several new moons and full moons. But not only that, I find that on full moons, not on new moon, on full moon, the dogs make a racket at home. They are just barking, howling. Inevitably, full moon, it's a problem at home. At home meaning outside my home, right? So, and I get very annoyed. when I'm trying to sleep and these dogs are barking, I'm extremely annoyed. But I tell myself, it is full moon. Let them bark. Right? Look at Vara. Every Friday we are happy. Aren't we? Work week is coming to an end. What is Friday ruled by? Venus. The planet of comforts, luxury, harmony, happiness. You see how the external environment is determined by the weekday. Every Tuesday, we are like, oh my God, the week has just begun. We are trying to grind ourselves back into work. It's ruled by Mars. Right? But it's just about understanding what each of these gets mapped to. Right? Varsha, are there 2 tithis in a day too? Sometimes the tithi changes during the day, right? Like for instance, in this example, the tithi was 12:23 p.m. I mean, Chaturdashi till 12:23 p.m. and then it changed. So in this case, yeah, there are 2 tithis in that day. Half a day is one tithi and the next half is another tithi. But it's not always the case. Sometimes you may have one tithi the whole day. Right? It just depends on the position of the moon and the sun. Yeah. So this was the second option, right? Of learning to plan your days better, to make your days better through a process of observing, reflecting, introspecting. This was the second option. The first option is to study astrology with me. Yeah. I'm starting a 1-year program next month. It's called Astrology 101. Yeah. It will have a lot of astronomy in it. There will be stargazing nights in person, right? But the whole program is done online. There'll be a lot of mythology. I'll be sharing stories from the Puranas, and I'll be connecting it to the planets. I'll be connecting it to the elements and to your birth chart. Right? So astronomy is one pillar that I'll be focusing a lot on, basics of astronomy. I'll be sharing almost 25, 30 stories from Indian mythology to help you understand astrology. This is the second pillar. The third pillar is Indian philosophy. We'll be covering the basics of Indian philosophy. Right? We'll be doing a few of the Upanishads very briefly. We will do Sankhya Yoga, yoga philosophy, Patanjali's yoga. We'll be doing it quite a bit. To understand how to read a chart, I found that philosophy is very important, Indian philosophy. Yeah? We'll be doing different mantras, different meditation techniques. All of this will be done online. Yeah. Plus, there will be the fourth pillar, which is astrology. And astrology for me, I use many different activities and interactive sessions to help you understand astrology. It will not be about reading books and reading Wikipedia or watching YouTube. That's not the system I follow. It will be hands-on activities. Right? We will also be having 5 retreats during the year. Friday check-in, Sunday checkout for each element. Each retreat will be for a different element. We have 5 elements, right? Fire, earth, air, water, and space. Ether. So during the retreats, we'll be visiting the temple of the retreat and again, engaging in different hands-on activities for you to experience that element. Right? So these are the 4 pillars, right? So it will be 1 year starting from April, 2 hours a week online. Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we'll decide together as a group. There'll be 5 retreats in person. 4 pillars: astrology, astronomy, Indian philosophy, and Vedic mythology. And I don't have a fixed fee. for this program. You can contribute based on your capacity. Wherever you find yourself with money, you can make me an offer. But if you are interested in discovering yourself through the lens of Vedic astrology, then this is the program I want you to join. Yeah, I have tried short courses. It did not work out. I felt I was not doing enough justice to the subject or to the person, right? Because for me, it's not about teaching astrology, but it's about helping you discover yourself, helping you understand yourself. That is the focus in the first year. In the second year, the focus shifts to manifesting your dreams. Once I have understood who I am, how can I accomplish what I want? That will be in the second year, right? So first year, it's all about discovery. Yeah. So it's open. I've covered what I wanted to share with you. So I have a YouTube channel. I have an Instagram account. I have WhatsApp groups. So please feel free to subscribe, join if you are interested in such webinars and such topics, right? And I will keep you updated on all of this. I will be posting this on YouTube, so you will have all of this online, right? And yeah, I open it up to questions now, in case you all have anything to share or anything to ask.
Vikram, the course timing, is it evening or in between the day?
Yeah, we've not decided that. It will depend on the group. So Saturday evenings, I'm teaching already. I'm teaching the second year students. So Saturday evening, I can't. But otherwise, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, anytime, I think we can make it work. Right? But even a weekday, right? If you want to do Wednesday afternoon, okay, any day is fine, except Saturday evening, when I already have a batch. Yeah? And I think we'll have people from different countries, different time zones. So we'll decide together, what works best for everyone. Yeah, Monica.
Hi, I'm sorry for my delay first. So, when we're supposed to start? When I'm already including the group. When we are supposed to start the course in April?
Okay. Yeah. So it's the 12th of April is what I have decided as the date when we decide the logistics, right? 12th of April is a Friday. So let's just meet on Friday, and I don't know the time. I'll share a registration link with everyone, so you can fill that out if you want to join. And on that Friday, on the 12th of April, let's decide which time and which day of the week.
Yeah? Okay. All right. I have a question, another question, because today I'm very tired. I'm sorry, I'm not very productive.
Sure.
When you're talking about yoga, we have the activity. I'm very ignorant about that. I'm from, so that's why I know that we have yoga, the activity people give classes on. And then you talk about yoga in astrology as a unifying force or unifying energy. So
exactly. Very good question. Yes.
What is the
so
difference?
Yoga has many different meanings in Indian thought, right? So the yoga that we generally know is the asana, what we call as asana, which are physical exercises, so to speak. That is the yoga that we know of, right? In the Gita, Krishna speaks about different yogas as pathways, spiritual paths. So you have bhakti yoga, for instance, or jnana yoga. Bhakti yoga means the path of devotion. Jnana yoga is the path of wisdom. Karma yoga is the path of action. as a spiritual path, activity as a spiritual path, work as a spiritual practice. So look how yoga is used, right? It takes on a different meaning. Then in astrology, we have yogas, right? With a plural, right? Which means combination. How each planet is placed relative to other planets is a yoga. It's called as a yoga. Then we have yoga in the Panchanga, what we discussed today, which is sun plus moon, right? So what is the underlying meaning in all of this, right? Yoga means to unite. What am I trying to unite, right? Let's take asana. What I'm trying to unite are different planes of my being. So then I'm more focused. If I'm thinking something and doing something else, I have my planes of being going separate ways. Yoga will help me align everything. Yoga as an asana will help me align everything, bring everything together. Then I can go to the next stage, pranayama. Right? What about in the Gita? When Krishna speaks about bhakti yoga, he's referring to how I can unite with the divine through a path of devotion. How I can unite with the divine through my work, karma yoga. So bringing together, uniting is what yoga means. In Panchanga, I'm uniting the sun's longitude and the moon's longitude. So think of yoga more as a adverb, to unite.
Okay, unite as a path.
Or you can think of it as, sorry, come again, I didn't get it.
Sorry, uniting as a path, a way you go, no.
You can unite for different purposes, right? You can unite with God, with the divinity. Or you can unite different planes of your being. Or you can unite two planets, sun and moon. To bring together is yoga.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other questions? Monica, your hand is up. You have another question? No. Okay. All right. Okay. Then very good. It was very nice to have everyone here. I'll upload the video in case you want to watch it again. Otherwise, stay in touch. And I hope to see you all at my 1-year program.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye then.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thanks, Ashwin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Maya. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.